Welcome back to Jatai Academy. Today we're going to be doing a modern interpretation, a more versatile interpretation of the 70s classic, the Farrah Fawcett. That feathered, layered type of look around the face with a real solid back shape. Not a whole lot of layering in the back, but a lot of layering in the front. We're going to show you how to section it. We're going to show you how to cut it. We're going to show you how to keep it modern. So let's get started. So I've started with a natural part, center part, to the crown, crown to the occipital bone to the mastoid. That's going to give me my foundational length that I'm going to build everything off of. And I want to start controlling the amount of weight that we have because I'm doing a modern interpretation of hair. So I want this to be a little more light and airy and not quite so solid. So to start cutting, I'm going to go through and use my Feather Plier Razor. This is a limited edition white. And I actually like the white. It's refreshing to my eyes. And this is a guardless razor. So since there is no guard, I have to be mindful of the blade since it is exposed. But this gives me the most control and the most precise cut that I can get while using a razor. Start in the center here. I'm going to go through and just cut any little long pieces off. I want to maintain as much length as I can. So I'm just going to go through and cut anything that's a little bit too straggly and too long off of that. Take my next section, I'm going to hold that straight down and natural fall. We see some long little stragglers there. I want to go through, take that off, and the same thing on the other side. This side seems to be a little longer from our last cut. So once we get that taken care of, that's looking pretty good. Now I want to be mindful of how much thickness that I have. Is this section overly thick? And if it is, I need to start paying attention to that now. So as opposed to going through and cutting all one length and then going through and texturizing, I'm going to cut one section, look at it, texturize it, cut the next section, look at it, texturize it. I'm going to take each individual section as I go up the back of the head as an independent section and texturize accordingly to that section. I think this has a little bit of weight right through the middle. So I'm going to go through and very gently take a little bit of weight out just in the middle. And then I'll look at that. So that took out enough weight that I feel like it lightened the whole thing up, but I don't get a whole lot of separation because I'm not texturizing it all the way through to the end. I'm just taking a little bit out right in the center of that section. There's my section. You can see this is a little bit thinner and that's a little bit thicker. So where it's a little bit thicker, I'm going to go through and real gently take some of that weight out through there. Now, if I go through and get real aggressive with this, then I will have a halo of hair right through there. But I'm taking very, very small, thin sections. And if I start to worry that I need to remove more hair out, then what I'll do is I'll go through and do a pass there. I'll do a little bit of a pass down through here, and then maybe on the ends. So I want to be in control of how much texturizing that I apply and exactly where I want to apply that texturizing. On my next section, I want to take a thick enough section that I have some hair to work with so I know how much density I need to remove, but I don't want to take it so thick that the razor has difficulty cutting. Now here I'm going to do the exact same thing I was doing before. I'm going to take a center section, go through, cut my length. If there's any length to cut at all, it doesn't look, there's a little bit right through there that I need to get. Yes. A little bit on the other side. Any length that hangs over, I'm going to take that off. If there's no hair to take off, then I don't take anything off. If it starts to look like the ends are kind of gnarly because she hasn't had a haircut in a while, then I'll go through and take a little bit more off. Now I'll go through and remove the underneath section, take the next section that I'm dealing with right now. I'm going to look at the thickness of that. And then here, I'm going to go through a little bit of texturizing here midway through, and then a little bit 2/3 of the way down. Not anything on this left side because it already looks fine. So all I'm trying to do here is even out the density of the section, a little thicker, a little thinner, a little thicker, a little thinner. So where it needs it, I'll go through and take that hair off. Where it's a little thicker, I'll take a little bit more. Where it's a little thinner, I will not take any at all. And I'm just trying to even out that density across the entirety of this section so I don't have so much hair to deal with. Remove the hair I've previously cut, and I'm only dealing with each section in and of itself. Follow us on your favorite social media at jataifeather. Now I'm going to continue on, taking parallel sections and doing the exact same methodology until the whole perimeter shape is cut. Last section here, and we're looking pretty good. I think we took out a nice amount of hair to kind of make it a little bit more airy, a little less solid. There we go, we got a little bit more right through there. Nice, even weight distribution is what we're going for. And on hair that's overly thick, when I'm trying to lighten it up, that becomes one of the hardest things, is to evenly apply my texture, because while the hair looks like it's even, a lot of times they'll have more hair on one side than the other side, and the hair will be coarser on one side than the other side, or underneath and not as much on top. So you gotta fine tune and specialize where you want to put all of your texturizing. It's custom. It's a custom job. It's not off the shelf. All right, so let's go to the front. So to dial in how I want my modern Farrah to look is it's mostly going to be layered here around the front and a lot less in the back. So we're going to go through and I'm going to take the first bump down to the high point of the hairline right over the ear. Now this is all the hair that has the tendency and the ability to fall in the face. So we're going to deal with that section first. So I'm taking a triangular section right around the front, from the center of the nose at the first bump of the head to the center of the eyeballs on each side. This is going to be the focal point for my layering and the shortest layer that's going to start to kind of wing out. So I'm going to comb this out at the peak curvature, which is that elevation, right through there. Take my feather plie. I'm going to see where I want that to fall. I think it's going to hit around the lips. So I'll gauge that, pull that forward, and then go through and fillet that section off. I still want a fairly solid shape. And if I need to, I'll go through and add some texture and some separation to it to make it more flicky. Take my next section, comb that out off the peak curvature. There's my guide, and I'm going to work this straight down. So for heads here, I'm cutting that at this angle. Give us a thumbs up, click subscribe, and the notification bell to be notified of future Jatai Academy content. Next section. Straight up and down. Usually I will blend and put an angle right in around the front so that I don't end up doing any kind of mullet layers. But with this shape, it almost demands a little undercut of a mullet layer to make it wing back and flop back. I think that that's looking pretty righteous. I like that. Okay, now we're going to move on to the back. Next section, to the mastoid, to the high point of the head. As my hair starts to dry out, I'm going to go through and apply a little bit of Jatai Blade Glide. This gives me a nice compact cuticle that makes it easier to cut with the razor and also makes it easier to comb. I'm going to start right in the middle again. There's my short piece right there. My guide from underneath. Hold this all forward. There's my guide. Very gently fillet that off right at my guide. Next piece I'm going to pull forward. Now here I can completely ignore the guide from underneath if the hair is really, really long. Her hair is not super long, so I'm just going to follow the guide from underneath and continue to pull everything forward and follow my guide from underneath. If the hair was very, very long, this is the point I would completely disconnect from the first layer into the layering into the back. I would step layer it. Last section here, we're going to go from the crown to the corner of the hairline and the nape. Pulling everything forward, the same sort of sectioning I was doing before. Pull everything forward just like I was doing previously. Now, if the hair, like I said, starts to get longer, I can disconnect at any point that I feel like I'm going to end up with mullet layers. But this shape is kind of mullety layered, so I can't be too afraid of that. And as we see, we're getting here to the bottom. There is far less hair that needs to be cut for it to blend through. Same thing on the other side. All right, do a little shake and bake here, see how we're looking. I think the bangs are pretty good. I like the way that that's separating through there, and once we dry it, I think that'd be good. I feel like we've got a nice balance in our layering through here and a nice balance in our weight distribution. So let's go through and blow it dry and see what we got. Here's our end result, and I think we're looking pretty good. We got a nice amount of layering on the sides, very little in the back, so it still maintains that solid shape in the back. We've got all this layering around the front that really feathers back nicely. And still got a good, decent corner here around the front. I think that it's looking pretty good. Need a little more hairspray on you right there, but overall, I think we're pretty good. I think the shape's nice, it's modern. You could wear this and not look too retro, but you could really hot roller it out and have a nice retro feeling. So if you had a disco Friday night, hot rollers and you're in. Anyway, check out Jatai Academy. There's all kinds of fantastic information on there that will make you a better hairstylist and barber. Also, let us know what you'd like to see in the future. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.